on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. On record.
Every word matters.
A very good morning to you, Lagosians, and a very good morning to you, Nigerians. This is On Record, where every word matters. My name is Oyim Priye Krumale. But today's On Record is taking a different twist. I am taking this session with Afyong Eyeni. Good morning, Afyong. Good morning, Afyong Eyeni.
Yes, a very good morning to you, Krumale. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yes, today's On Record will be taking a different turn. And recently, Nigerians, got to know, we experienced the passing of a general in the Nigerian army, a well-known general who, held a position of significance when Nigeria was in the military administration. And, of course, that was on Sunday, the 26th.
Yes, the 26th of March. That was on Sunday.
Exactly, and he passed on to glory. Before we commence, I want to wish the family that God will replace, God will give them the fortitude to bear the loss. But for some, it says it was a celebration of life.
Yes, it is a celebration of life because actually the general, late Lieutenant Oladipo Diya was a formidable force in terms of his character. He's quite intelligent and all that he has achieved so far since he left, he was out of power in 1997. We have been celebrating him even while he was alive. And when we heard of his death, it was kind of like we'll miss him because he still had a lot to offer. When you're with him, he just pours out this wisdom that gives you that guidance in life. So it is a celebration of life for late Lieutenant General Diya. Yes.
Well, it's On Record where every word matters, and do remember that we discuss the actions, the inactions of government, ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview. And the program also encapsulates personalities like the one we're talking about today, and institutions that make decisions that affect the lives of people one way or the other. And then we also avail you, our listeners, the opportunity of calling into the program to ask questions from our guests on the topic of discussion. But today's conversation, we'll be talking about the life and times of General Diya, and we will have join us the Olawale Adekoya is
he's the media advisor.
The media advisor
to the late Diya.
To the late Diya. So we will be having this somewhat extensive conversation on the life and times of Mr. Oladipo Diya. Now, on Sunday the 26th, like I said earlier on, there was a statement that he passed on. We saw it in one of the newspapers and signed on behalf of the family by the first son of the late general. That's Oyesimilola Diya, who is also a lawyer. He announced the death of the Lieutenant General Donaldson Oladipo Yinka Diya, retired GCON, LLB, BLPSC, FSS, and MNI. Well, those are the military accolades that came with the general. Well, so we can jump into the business of the day as soon as we can. Let's go on a break. And when we return from this break, we'll have the media advisor to the late general join us on the program so we can talk about the life and times of General Oladipo Diya. It's On Record where every word matters. If you were old enough and you knew you were old enough during that time where the late general was a military administrator of Ogun State, when he was the deputy, the vice president, military president to General Sani Abacha, and what you experienced at that particular point in time, you can call into the program whilst we're having a conversation with the media advisor to the late general. You can call in 0700 1021 1021. That is 0700 1021 1021. You can send in your messages to our WhatsApp line on 0907 224 5018. 0907 224 5018. We're off for a break, and when we return, our business of the day continues. Just stay with us.
Welcome to On Record.
Every word matters.
want to do is to take Nigeria from consumption to production.
My name is Mr. Innocent Chuboma. I started by trading on motorcycle scrappers.
They really ask, how much is the Nigerian life worth?
Policing is everybody's business, not the business of the men on uniform alone.
We will establish student loan 4 years course. Must be 4 years course.
When you dispense, a pharmacist dispenses a drug to a patient, the name of the drug must be written on the envelope.
On Record is a 45-minute program where we discuss the actions, inactions of government, ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview.
Join us 9 a.m. every weekday on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. On Record.
Every word matters.
Are you looking for an avenue to blast your brand? Why not let us be your detonator at High Impact Radio 102.1 FM with Got You Covered. For advert placement, sponsorship, partnership, call us on 0706 393 5694 0915 958 1881 0902 745 3931 or send an email to info@highimpactstudio.com.
Welcome back and many thanks for joining us on the program. It's on Record, where every word matters. Once again, my name is Oyinpriye Krumale, and like I said earlier on, today it's a different twist in On Record, and I'm having this session with Afyong Yeni, and we are having a conversation today with Olawale Adekoya, who is the media advisor, strategy to the late General Oladipo Diya. Good morning, Mr. Olawale Adekoya, and welcome to On Record.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be making my debut on your wonderful station.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Please stay on the line. We have a caller already who wants to tell us his experiences or what you knew about Oladipo Diya. Yes, please. Good morning. Welcome to On Record. Your name and where you're calling us from, please. Hello? Okay, let's move on. Mr. Olawale, thank you so much once again for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, the late General Oladipo Diya, myself, I was a teenager when when General Oladipo Diya was the vice president to General Sani Abacha, then between 1993 and 1997. Could you please tell us who was he? Who was General Oladipo Diya?
Indeed, it will be a difficult task by way of verbal explanation, to define a colossus. How more would you talk about a man who lived to serve humanity? Well, for the sake of the program, I will tell you without fear of favor, doubt, ambiguity, that His Excellency Lieutenant General Donaldson Oye Yinka Oladipo Diya, he was a good family man, a professional soldier, a community builder, and lover of life. He exemplified the concept of honesty. When I say honesty, I mean it in all its ramifications. And of course, timeliness. When it tells you 8 a.m., please do not be there by 8:01. And as a soldier, a patriot, he signed up. When the NDA was established, he happened to be among the first set. They call them Course 1. Okay. I will also tell you that General Oladipo Diya, a man of many firsts, is not by accident that when in secondary school, Odobolu Grammar School was set up, he happened to be the first set, and the NDA, I just told you, the first set. Also, when the National War College was established in Lagos, then he was the first commandant. And at the end of it all, he became a state governor. His record as a disciplinarian who try to live above board.
Okay.
I've emphasized honesty. And as a family man, wow, behind this straight, firm, austere man, you have a man with a golden heart when it comes to family and the community.
Okay. All right. Okay, yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, it's a kind of a roller coaster emotion for me. I just want to know, I'm curious to know, he is a lawyer, or he was a lawyer, and a Nigerian officer, that's a soldier. What connection is that? Why did he choose that path, both in law and also in the army? Why did he venture into the Nigerian army, that's getting himself as an army officer? What's the connection?
It's okay. We were told that in those days, and being a Yoruba man from Ogun State, and the level of Ogun State with education, those days, only the deviants, the wayward children, those who do not listen to their parents, will even attempt to join the army, because it was seen as a job for stubborn children. But Oladipo Diya had always wanted to be one. So when eventually the NDA was established, he told no one, and he just moved on to the NDA, Kaduna. And the parents, of course, thought he was in Ahmadu Bello University. He had always wanted to be a lawyer, but then the service to nation came first. So that's how the NDA thing came. It was one of the women who sells in NDA that eventually told the mom that, I saw your son. He said, yeah, of course, he's in Abu. He said, no, this one is an NDA. And the rest is history, as he eventually passed out successfully before the war started, and it's been a roller coaster career for him in the army.
Okay.
Now, something happened. General Diya wrote a book, the title, Destiny Anchored on Faith. Faith as in FATE. Destiny Anchored on. Maybe I will find, if I can get a copy I sent to this studio.
Okay, when did he write this book? When did he write this book?
That should be about 8.5 years ago, under 9 years.
All right, please go on.
Yes. And it was simply amazing. In that book, there was a section dedicated to why he eventually fulfilled an undying passion, the love of his life. When you are a disciplinarian, the need to know the rule of law will be at the base of your life. So he is always conscious and conscious of his decisions. So something happened after the Gideon Orca coup of April 22, 1992, I guess. Yes, Orca coup. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And something happened. Let me not mention that in the armed forces. I don't know how classified or whatever the information is.
Okay.
But the bottom line is General Oladipo Diya was given an assignment that is indeed more civilian than a military. So since you've given me this appointment, General Diya walked up to General Abacha and requested that he be allowed to fulfill his childhood dream of becoming a lawyer. And magnanimously, General Abacha allowed him, and that is why he eventually enrolled to study law at the same Ahmadu Bello University, what he had always wanted to be. So he became a lawyer, and there was something significant about that, because they broke the record. General Oladipo Diya and his first son, the eldest child, barrister Diya, both of them were called to the Nigerian bar same day, same time, at the same moment. It was an amazing moment. I remember my father waking me. He said, what are you sleeping? Come and see the father and this. The entire community and the black and white TV, we got to watch the inspiration, the beauty, the magnificence of that moment. That's something that, will always live and resonate in our minds. So that's the man, and that's how the soldier became a barrister, and many other things in between.
Okay, Mr. Adekoya, there are a few minutes from now we'll be going to the part 2 of this conversation, which will be delving into areas where is a military escapade, where the coup came in, he was sent to prison for treason, and the life after that time. We'll be going into the section of that conversation. But before then, whilst you were talking about General Diya, you said he's a family man. So tell us more about his relationship with his family.
Well, he has an insatiable, undying love, affection for education.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say this, particularly the professional courses. I don't know, this generation, there's something about being an accountant, a lawyer, an engineer, a medical doctor.
Yes.
And so in the entire family, not even his own children, not even his own biological children, any member of the Diya family, please quote me, any member of the Diya family that gains admission to study any of those professional courses, then you have a scholarship. And the day you graduate, a brand new car for you. I've seen that over and over and over. And when you check the Diya family, if you see so many doctors, even among his children, and lawyers among his children, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, that are lawyers, and maybe 1, 2 or so that are medical doctors as well. So education is something that he used to speak to the children and to the family, friends, children of those who affect him, and what have you. And talking about the family, you see, he happens to be a connector. Let me give you have to also include the church. Okay. He was Baba Ijo, that de facto, the number one, is the opposite of what happened in the Pentecostal churches.
Okay.
So the Baba Ijo is the number one. Okay. In the United African Methodist Evangelical Church, Abule Jesha, where they have the cathedral, it's the same thing. It is a family.
Okay.
Look, there's a contribution to be made. The church was to buy a bus, for instance. If the cost is 5 million, Diya will ensure everybody contributes, even if it's 100 naira, 1,000. Not minding the fact that they can pay 99% of the fee.
Okay, sir. Sorry to butt in. We're talking about the church. Yes, I have been opportune to be invited by the Diya family and Her Excellency Otumba Chief Josephine Diya, the wife of the late General. You were talking about the church. I just want to put it together, intertwine. Yes, the church came about in Abule Jesha. Oh yes. What came about the church? Because I had a story in my head. I'm like, okay, let me confirm this story. That the late mother of Lieutenant General Diya was the main, matriarch of the church. How did that come about? Because, we're looking at his life and times while he was almost to be executed by the late Sani Abacha. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, let me quickly combine that. The church is a family thing. General Diya's father, was among the 4 founding fathers of the church. And that Abule Jesha, that is. But that initially, that was not, there was a legal tussle that started from the High Court up to the Appeal Court and the Supreme Court about, some internal matters. But at the end of the day, the general said, let them take the church. It's okay. It's God's will. And then he called the other members that they formed and set up the one in ability. That's why you have the word evangelical in the name. Now, his parents, father and mother, they were actually the foundation members of that. So that will not be taught, because other families also participated. So with due respect to them, all of them live now. So let me just leave it at that, founding members. Now, the other matter about, what did you call it now? You said the church, and what now?
Yes, I wanted to look at the fact that the church, it came about, there was actually a story that, yes, if my son, gets past this level, we know he wanted to be sentenced by Sani. In fact, he was sentenced by Sani, the late Sani Abacha. And when he came out from it, that church was also rededicated again by the mother, something like that. Yes, so I really wanted to clear the hair on that.
Okay, the man, the cat with many lives. Before the alleged coup, there were series of events. That General Diya escaped bomb.
Yes, on his plane, yes.
The helicopter while traveling to the north.
Yes.
And the second one, the first one, he went to the church for a dedication to thank God for saving his life.
Exactly.
Okay. So, and also the second one as well, when he went to Dogolu, coming back the following week, that was when he was arrested for the coup.
Yes.
And also in the book, Destiny Anchored on Faith, there are so many chapters that you will actually understand the politics, the dynamism, and some funny things about it. The idea has been like when during the tribunal, you heard General Diya when he was asking, where are the people, but it will be a turning point in his life, because the account of what happened before, during, and after was well documented. You spoke about Mommy Josephine Diya, and what they faced. They had to live upstairs.
Yes.
The military, the army will not allow them to even come down. So whatever they need sent to them is communicated, alienated from the rest of the world for a long time. Okay. But when he wants to die, you know what happened? The hunter became the hunted.
Yes.
And General Diya had a fresh passport to live for another 25 years. Because when he escaped that, he lived for 25 years until 5 minutes after 1, when 5 years after 1 a.m., when eventually death came, this time better prepared, and then to take the general away from us.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Adekoya. Now, let me remind our listeners that you can call into the program 0700 1021 1021. That is 0700 1021 1021. You can send in WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018, 0907 224 5018. We are talking about the life and times of the late General Oladipo Diya, and we have his media aide, Olawale Adekoya, joining us on record this morning. Before we head for a break, I would like you to tell us a bit more about the coup. What happened? Or the alleged coup.
Okay, better proof. The coup is a matter that it was a defining moment in the history of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. One, the political coloration, because you want to see the event that actually led to the coup, the so-called coup. You have to look at the ethnic implication, because most of the army generals involved came from a particular part of the country,
the
southwestern part.
Yes.
General Abdulkarim Adisa, General Tajudeen Olawale, General Lieutenant General Oladipo Diya, and many others. You want to ask yourself, would people who are, and they were ministers. Do not forget that Abdulkarim Adisa, General, was the minister for works.
For works, okay, yes.
Tajudeen Olawale was communication minister.
Okay.
So you wonder, where are the soldiers that this guy we used to persecute the people? But having said that, here is the issue. There was a video during the tribunal that the military tribunal actually said nailed General Diya and co. And let me call the attention of the world to this. In that video, that was the main prosecuting document. The audio was taken off.
Okay.
So what was discussed? What was the subject matter? Say today. Then, if you look at that, you will also ask yourself, the military coup, the day anyone is involved in an abortive coup, automatically you become the enemy of the land.
Yes, true.
Now, would you expect that, assuming it happened that way, General Diya will still be allowed to move 2 feet away from General Sani Abacha, dressed in his favorite French suit, with his chain, gold, and everything, properly dressed, a coup plotter? So that is something that I asked him. He told me, but it's not everything we can actually put on the air. But he maintained till he died that General Abacha had been so nice to him. General Abacha invited him to be number 2, and they've been amazing friends even before they became 1 and 2. And yes, people came in, conspiracies and what have you, but he maintained that he never plotted a coup with anyone. And even the so-called speech coup, the drafter of the speech coup was not even arranged. So you can see so many people. But we are thanking God, we are celebrating that he could live for 25 whole years, to tell the story.
Okay.
And,
Okay, sir. Let's sorry to bottom because of our time. I would like to ask this question.
Okay.
He was referred to as an hero and one of the most intelligent generals. Please tell us, why was he referred to as such?
Yeah, that was even that was supposed to be his mistake. His offense, because he was obviously becoming too popular among the military elite. And, the head of state, naturally, as a human being, must feel concerned. About his looks, a dashing, handsome, good-looking gentleman. And he was cerebral. And the fact that he could still study law after so many years is an attestation to the level, the power of scholarship and intellectualism that he has been displaying day in, day out as a fine gentleman military officer. So yes, he was indeed, and he reads a lot. When he employed me every day, 5 times a week, the newspaper review, we go through that every day. What happened internationally, locally, and nationally. I will sit with him 30 minutes, 1 hour, depending on his time, but he will ensure that I brief him. And the kind of question he asked, even in the journalism school, and nobody had thrown those questions at me. So you're talking about a man blessed, intelligent, and abundantly cerebral.
Thank you very much, Olawale Adekoya. Now, we've been talking about the life and times of General Oladipo Diya. Let's briefly go on a break. When we return, we'll go to another part of our conversation. Mr. Olawale Adekoya, please stay on the line. We'll be back in a moment.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information, call 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931. Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity. Let's help you take it high
and out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
If it's public opinion, expert analysis, information that matters to you, we have it on record Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700 1021 1021. WhatsApp 0907 224 5018.
Welcome back, and many thanks for joining us once again. It's on record where every word matters, and we are having a conversation today about the life and times of the late military general Oladipo Diya. We're having a conversation with his media aide to the late General Olawale Adekoya. Thank you once again for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yes, and we want to let you know that you can still call into the program 0700-1021-1021, and you can send in WhatsApp messages to 0907-224-5018. Now, Mr. Olawale Adekoya, we understood that General Diya was a military administrator in Ogun State before he became the second in command to General Sani Abacha. Would you like to, as a military administrator in Ogun State, would you like to tell us some of his legacies that he left behind that are still, holding the fort in Ogun State?
Okay, thank you so much for taking me around the world. It's quite nostalgic. Let me tell you that I'm actually struggling here. I'm struggling to do so many things. One of them is talking about His Excellency General Oladipo Diya in the past. I need to readjust my tenses to know how to use the past tense for him. This is so sad, but it's okay. It was the General Muhammadu Buhari military regime that decided to shuffle and ensure that officers were appointed to their states of origin. I think that it was only 2 states that they couldn't really find an officer from that state. But Ogun State, Oladipo Diya, from Ojobolo, Ogun State, so he was the military officer. When he came, let me share a story with you. About 6 years ago, the Ogun State television crew, when Ogun State anniversary, they came to the office to interview His Excellency. And the woman speaking Yoruba now say, Daddy, do you remember while you were military governor of Ogun State? Say, yeah. He said, did you know they were calling you Quenya? His name is Diya. His name was Diya. And that the Ogun State people changed his name to Quenya. When you Diya, that means you reduce the suffering, you ameliorate, you push it, you bless, you supplant. Now the people change, maliciously, trust the people. They change the name from Diya to Quenya. No, this one has come to Quenya. That means to add to our problems, to our sufferings. And what did the man do? Number one, Ogun State, Owambe, I think that's the headquarters. Okay. And General Diya was the one who stopped the overnight parties in Ogun State, which eventually trickled to other parts of the country. That's the record and a legacy. I said, look, the money, the cost of an overnight party, this money can be invested, divested, moved to other more important things like education. Organize a party, but please, no more all-night parties. Many people were, they said, who is it? A soldier, come on. But gradually, people saw the merit, and now you don't even want to tell people about night parties. That's one for his legacy. Number 2, General Diya, it was who insisted, who mandated that all houses must have at least a pit latrine in Ogun State, starting with Abeokuta. And that is why house owners began either the pit or the more modern ones or whatever. So they don't splash, waste into rivers, drainages, and water view. So when it started, people saw it as something an inconvenience. That we are the way we've been doing our thing. Who is it to tell us? But today we know better. The health implications, you don't even want to go in there. Then the third one is the insistence that anyone who has a house along the main road, the major road, must be painted. Either green, white, green, or any color of your choice. People say, he has come again. So, so that it can lighten up the ambience, the beauty, the aesthetics of the city. And from Abeokuta, it trickled to other towns in Ogun State. And then here we are today. That the consciousness, the sensitization, the indoctrination of the power of beauty and creativity and innovation, they were all explained. The final one, of course, is the tax. Nobody wants to be taxed.
Okay.
My dear people, he said the government must be funded, and then he introduced. That's simple then, but at the end of it all, the marketers and the other industrialists, the business people, now saw reasons. And when they left, the accounts tidy, the records well spelled, and we are thanking God, because I'm from Ogun State. Like I said, we are thanking God because even Ogun State University, when it was, the push, then the one you call Oladipo University now,
yes,
is Ogun State University. The first vice chancellor and the way he also supported, even as a young military officer.
Okay.
These are some of the legacies you can mention. Is great. Then the OPIC.
Okay.
OPIC. Many people are not aware that Oladipo Diya practically, set it up that a state like Ogun State, the proximity to Lagos,
yes,
then the power, the presence of the industrial estates are designed by the sage Obafemi Awolowo.
Okay.
In West Africa, Ogun State has the largest industrial estate in West Africa. If not in Africa, I need to check that up. But I'm very certain West Africa, this Agbara and what have you. Okay. That if we have that, then we need the OPIC, the Ogun, property, investment and what have you, so that it can be a buffer, a springboard for those investment opportunity, and of course the proximity to Lagos.
Okay.
So that's where we are. So you talked about some of these things on and on, the university, OPIC, and what have you.
Yeah.
And you talk about the man.
Okay, that means in Ogun State, the resident will really miss the late Lieutenant General Diya. That brings me back to my question. I'm quite curious to know, Lieutenant General Diya was a dogged fighter. He was one who is strong-willed, disciplined, and very intelligent. I know general, like soldiers, they are very, very strong. But I'm wondering, how did he keep that going all these years? What can you say about that? Like, how did he keep all that strength, energy going all these years without even, falling that sick and complaining so much about this health? Because I know that whenever I go to functions, I just have an opportunity of seeing him, like, how did this man cope with all that he has gone through and still keep it strong all this while until we lost him March 26th?
Well, if you have seen the books about some people of history, the likes of Adolf Hitler, you call him Adolf Hitler, and Napoleon Bonaparte, Nelson Mandela, and some other, leaders. You see, the first to start with, they are born. People like Oladipo Diya, they were born for that purpose. Then there's a renaissance, a rebirth. It is an in thing. Okay. Even when you're born, you need to really readjust, realign your system.
Okay.
And it comes with a lot of discipline. A lot of discipline. To keep a principle for years is not a joke. Let me give you one. 8 years ago, I asked General Oladipo Diya that, Daddy, we call him Daddy, imagine, he's my boss. Everybody calls him Daddy, talking about his family. I said, sir, I'm in politics, in this, a cause or something. He said, no. There are 200 million people in Nigeria. It has pleased God to make me number 2 out of 200 million. So what should number 2 be looking for to become number 1 when there are 200 million others left that have not gotten the opportunity to be number 2? That for me, I have no absolute business concern. Many politicians, many so big that they come to the house. It's support, not based on party or whatever. If you talk to him, if he sees a conviction in him, once he trusts you, good luck to you. If you allow him to doubt you because of your conduct once, the story will not be nice. So he supports, but he was non-aligned, and that is it. So a lot of discipline, a lot of discipline, and believe in what is right. So when it's coming from within, it will be so easy. It doesn't matter even if you live for 150 years.
Okay. Now, let me take us to another level of the conversation. We understood that it was sympathetic to the June 12th crisis, and that this also was one of the narrow paths that led to him being alleged to plotting the coup to unseat his principal. Talk to us about this.
I think that should be chapter 3 of the book. Here's the thing. I think coincidentally, the president-elect, Shivaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I will be expecting maybe in one of his books or one day, sometime sooner rather than later, should be able to, corroborate what is out there. Most definitely. You asked me what happened, why General Diya was able to study law. After the Oka coup, there was a meeting of the Armed Forces Council, and they were asking the senior at the meeting that what should be done to the coup plotter, the Oka.
Okay.
And Diya, Oladipo Diya was alleged to have said, though the coup plotters have done something so bad, they've committed a cardinal sin. However, the armed forces should look into some of the germane issues raised in the meeting. That was, it didn't go that well with then the head of state, and that was what led to him being redeployed and what have you. And give him the opportunity. You can see when he was at the lowest level of his career, he decided to study law to fill in the gap because there is no time for self-pity. Now, the matter of how he got into all of that was just because of when the whole issue was going on about the coup.
Yes.
Some people like Senator Anthony Adefeye came out 4 days ago that it was when he was locked up at the Abacha junta, his family approached General Diya, and Diya went to Abacha to beg him that, look, this politician, he meant no harm than what he said. Can we find a way to just warn him and let him go? And Abacha allowed. That's why Senator Adefeye said it himself on TV. And that is it. So when the issue of coup or no coup came, you will see that there is no doubt. General Diya believed that how MQ Abiola came and then left. The way he died, there was no way to go down with any decent Nigerian. Not to talk of somebody who is even closer, talking geography now. So there was that sentiment that he had a soft spot for the Nadepo team, the June 12 team, and what have you, which is natural anyway. So that's just what it is.
All right. We are nearing the end of the program, but however, yes.
I thought you were just starting.
Of course, we just have we have like 9 minutes or so. Now, reading about the general, we know about his gallantry when he became the military administrator of Ogun State, and him becoming the vice president to General Sani Abacha military administration. But after his incarceration and release from prison, we almost didn't hear much about him again until his passing away. So, can you talk to us about? Just a moment, Mr. Olawale, just a moment, please.
Okay, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, so can you talk to us about his life after his release from incarceration? For a man of that status, a colossus like you described him, why didn't we hear anything more about him until his passing away?
That is simply a reflection of who we are as a people. Look at me as Wale Adekoya. I'm an editor. I'm a newspaper editor. Okay? I've done so much on TV, on radio, and I'm still doing as a broadcaster. But I will tell you, as a people, some of those mass media theory, the bullet effect, all those stuff. The thing is, and that reflects who we are. If the story is not political, if you are not in politics, if you are not in sports, and Apple Nigeria is not really interested in knowing what you're doing. I became an editor years back, but only a few people knew me. When I started talking sports, a lot of people, followership and what have you. So that's just who we are. The general said no to politics. If you are not in politics or sports, you can make the headline, no matter who you are. But how many people are aware that the General Diya, or what we call the public speaking competition for all secondary schools in Ogun State. He was the initiator. I actually sold the idea for him. He bought it. He funded it. Not for 1 year, 2 years, 3, 4, 5, till his death, till he was ill. You know, that's one. Two, the Oladipo Diya Foundation for the widow, the less privileged. You know, you don't go on the air to say, hey, I just paid the fee of XYZ, not at its level. We don't crave it. That was why when this invitation came, I was happy that, okay, like Nnamdi Azikiwe said, praise me while I'm alive, for all posthumous praises never get to the four corners of the graveyard. And somebody also said, if you don't say I am here, nobody will ask, where are you? So we are grateful to your studio for doing something wonderful on behalf of the family, the Oladipo Diya family as well, that you're giving all this massive airtime, you know, to pay our tribute in a way, to say one or two things about the man. So he's been there. We travel all over the places. The Independence Day celebration, he never missed any. We attend promptly. You know, state events, donations, which you cannot go to the world to mention. So as I'm talking, people, beneficiaries, not only people he knew, you know, they've always been there. But like I said, if you are not in politics, if you don't do sports in Nigeria, it may be difficult. That's why it appears. And of course, do not forget, he doesn't hog the headline. And if you are Oladipo Diya, you'll be sentenced to death. You're just waiting. He told me that every 1 day of his day in jail was equal to 19 years. Hear me. 1 day was like 19 years. You knew they would come because they will always come. As a general, he was experienced enough that after you've been found guilty of coup plotting, you know, is death. He knew. Do you know what it means to wait for death for that long? When the man in question has said 1 year is like was like 19 years. So he was waiting.
Okay, sorry to butt in, sir, because of our time. I just really want to squeeze in this question. Can you say that General Diya was a fulfilled man before he died?
Wow, a fulfilled man.
Yes.
Absolutely. The second coming, that is the last 25 years. After, you know, when he wants to die, and Abacha died, and Diya lived. He actually lived for 25 solid years. You know, we will have been talking about his 80th birthday in 3 days' time, you know, for death. Having said that, he lived a fulfilled life because he had the opportunity to be so close to his children, the grandchildren. The community is so lovely. He was the Ashiwaju of Odogbulu and the Baba Ijo of the United African Methodist Church. So he became a grassroots person. He attended family weddings. You know, an average family member at his wedding, all of them, daddy, attend this. He was always there. And one thing I know, he might not be satisfied, is education. I'm sure he didn't do as much as he would have loved to do for education at the up to secondary level. That I can say, and I'm sure the family will be looking to that direction. Talking about one of his unaccomplished dreams, but talking about fulfillment, wow, fulfilled. You know, all the children got married, and his ranks restored. He lived with all the paraphernalia and the support, and of course the love, the goodwill shown by the people, you know, made him a fulfillment.
All right.
Okay. Lastly, sir, we know he stood for the unity of Nigeria. He wanted peace, contributions, and everything he has done for, Nigeria with his life. Let me say this. I want to ask this last question. What was his last wish for Nigeria?
Yes, the last speech I read for him, when he corrected the line that we should have a Nigeria that is run on meritocracy. He doesn't like to hear religion. He doesn't like to hear. He didn't like, to hear religion or tribe. Those two he call them poisons. That in public administration, it doesn't matter where you come from. That merit must be the order of the day. Before the Civil War, like you said, and the airborne, it was among the first set of army officers that were pushing people down, jumping from the plane in those days.
Okay.
He was among the first. So, and the man who has laid down his life, he was a die-hard Nigerian. His belief in Nigeria, you would think he was talking about the US of A. But I'm sure one day we'll all live to see the Nigeria of our dreams as His Excellency, Lieutenant General Donatse Oyeyinka Oladipo Diya.
Thank
wish
you.
for the country.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time on Impact 102.1 FM.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you so much.
Olawale Adekoya, who is the media aide
pleasure is
to
mine.
late General Oladipo Diya. Thank you so much for your time on record with us.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And that's where we draw the curtain on the program today, Friday. I'm glad it's Friday.
Yes.
And my name once again is Oyinpriye Krumale. I am wishing you a splendid weekend.
I am Afyong Ayeni. Do stay with us. The show continues. Thank you.